Welcome back to the channel, Pocket Change Coins, where we uncover the hidden value in rare and fascinating coins. Today, we have something special for you, a coin that's been quietly sitting in many people's collections, possibly just waiting to be discovered for its true worth. We're talking about the United States Roosevelt Silver $1 dime from 1980 with a mint mark, a coin that could potentially be worth far more than its face value. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at just how much this little dime could be worth. The Roosevelt Silver $1 dime was first introduced back in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, in honor of the late president's legacy. But what makes the 1980 version particularly interesting, and why are so many collectors seeking it out? Let's dig into its history, design, and what makes this specific dime a highly prized find. First, let's talk about the coin's background. By 1980, the U.S. Mint was already well into the practice of producing dimes using a copper-nickel clad composition. However, the special significance of the Roosevelt dime remains unchanged since its introduction. These coins are closely linked to Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and they hold a deep historical value. But when it comes to the 1980 Roosevelt Silver $1 dime, the story is about more than just the historical importance. It's about rarity, condition, and an intriguing series of minting specifics that make this coin especially valuable. When you hold the 1980 Roosevelt dime in your hand, it might look like any other dime from the era. On the obverse side, you'll find the iconic profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, facing left. This side of the coin has remained unchanged for decades, a constant tribute to the man who led the country through some of its toughest times. On the reverse, you'll see a torch flanked by olive branches and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. Now, let's focus on the key element that sets the 1980 dime apart from many other coins in circulation. You see, during this time, the U.S. Mint produced dimes in both regular and proof finishes, which are minted in specially prepared dies to give the coins a mirror-like appearance. While most of the 1980 dimes were produced using regular minting techniques, certain dimes with a specific mint mark became highly sought after by collectors. The mint mark located on the coin indicates the location where it was produced. Dimes minted in Philadelphia, for example, don't have a mint mark, while those made in Denver or San Francisco will have D or S mint marks respectively. However, it's not just the mint mark that makes the 1980 Roosevelt Silver dime valuable. Over the years, the coin has become rare because of a combination of factors. Many of these dimes were released into circulation and used in daily transactions. As a result, most of the 1980 dimes you'll come across are worn out, damaged, or have signs of heavy use. But it's the ones in mint condition, with no damage, scratches, or discoloration, that are the real treasures. In addition to the dimes minted in the regular copper-nickel clad composition, there are also special silver versions of the 1980 dime. The silver Roosevelt dimes were only produced in limited quantities, and the silver content in these coins is what makes them stand out. A silver dime, even if it's not in perfect condition, tends to be more valuable than a regular copper-nickel clad one. The silver content gives it intrinsic value, which increases the price even further. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1980 Roosevelt Silver $1 dime in excellent, uncirculated condition, then you're holding something truly rare. These coins have become a favorite among collectors who are looking for something unique to add to their collection. And what about those in pristine condition? Well, they can command a pretty impressive price tag on the market. Now, you might be wondering, just how much is a Roosevelt Silver $1 dime from 1980 worth today? Well, here's where the magic happens. A well-preserved, uncirculated 1980 Roosevelt Silver dime, especially one with the right mint mark, could be worth a staggering $45,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $45,000 for a single dime. Now, this value isn't going to be the case for every 1980 Roosevelt dime, of course. The coin must be in exceptional condition, with no signs of wear or tarnish. And if you happen to have one with a rare minting error or an especially sought-after mint mark, that could make your coin even more valuable. but it's not just the monetary value that makes this coin special. Owning a piece of history, especially one as rare and valuable as the 1980 Roosevelt Silver One Dime, adds a unique story to your collection. It's a coin that connects you to the past, to a time when Franklin D. Roosevelt's leadership had such a profound impact on the country. If you have a collection of coins or are simply a casual coin hunter, it's always a great idea to take a second look at any 1980 Roosevelt dimes you might have. Who knows? You might be holding on to a piece of history that could change your financial future. Today's video is going to blow your mind. We're diving into a gem from the 1970s, a coin that might just be hiding in your collection or a change jar right now. Yes, we're talking about the United States Roosevelt Silver One Dime from 1974, featuring a mint mark that could make all the difference when it comes to its value. Most people are familiar with the classic Roosevelt dime. It's the 10-cent coin that's been around for decades, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who served as the 32nd President of the United States. Introduced in 1946, the Roosevelt dime quickly became part of the American landscape, featuring the well-known profile of FDR on the obverse. On the reverse, you'll see the symbolic image of a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength. But what makes the 1974 version of this dime particularly interesting, and why are collectors so eager to get their hands on one? Let's take a closer look at what makes the 1974 Roosevelt Silver One Dime such a unique and valuable coin in today's market. First, we need to talk about the composition of this coin. By the 1970s, the United States Mint had already made a shift away from silver and started using a copper-nickel-clad composition for most of the dimes in circulation. However, prior to 1965, Roosevelt dimes were made of 90% silver, and many collectors today still search for those earlier silver versions. The 1974 dime itself, though, might not seem very special at first glance. After all, it's made with that standard copper-nickel composition that was used in the majority of dimes throughout the 70s. However, the 1974 Roosevelt Silver One Dime is still worth a closer look, particularly when you consider the mint mark and its condition. If you've ever paid attention to the mint marks on coins, you know that they're crucial to determining a coin's origin and, often, its rarity. Mint marks tell you whether the coin was produced in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. For the 1974 Roosevelt dime, this little detail could make all the difference when it comes to its value. The mint mark on the 1974 dime can be found on the obverse, below Roosevelt's neck. If you spot an S mint mark, it indicates that this coin was produced at the San Francisco Mint. San Francisco minted coins are often considered more collectible, especially if they were released as proof coins, which were specially minted with higher quality and detail. These proof coins weren't circulated and were made for collectors, so they tend to be in much better condition. The majority of 1974 Roosevelt dimes were minted with the copper-nickel composition, but the San Francisco Mint struck a limited number of dimes in 1974 with silver content, mainly for proof coin sets. This is where things start to get exciting. If you're fortunate enough to come across one of these silver versions with an S mint mark, you're holding on to something that could be worth significantly more than just 10 cents. What makes this coin even more special is its condition. Over the years, most dimes from the 1970s were circulated, which means they were used in everyday transactions and endured wear and tear. But coins that were carefully stored, particularly proof coins, have managed to remain in excellent, uncirculated condition. This pristine condition makes a huge difference in value, especially when paired with the silver content and rare mint mark. So, what does all this mean in terms of value? If you're lucky enough to have a 1974 Roosevelt Silver One Dime with an S mint mark in mint or uncirculated condition, you're in for a surprise. The rarity of these silver coins, combined with their high demand among collectors, drives their market value up considerably. Now, here's where it gets really exciting. A 1974 Roosevelt Silver One Dime in exceptional condition with an S mint mark could be worth as much as $63,000. Yes, you heard that right, $63,000 for a single dime. But let's be clear, not every 1974 Roosevelt dime is worth this kind of money. For your coin to command such a high price, it needs to meet certain criteria. Mainly, it must be in pristine, uncirculated condition with the silver content and the rare mint mark. But even if you don't have one in perfect condition, it's still worth checking the mint mark and carefully inspecting the coin. Some dimes might not fetch tens of thousands, but they could still hold significant value compared to their face value. So, how do you know if your 1974 Roosevelt dime is worth a fortune? Start by checking the mint mark. If you find an S mint mark, take a closer look at the coin's condition. Are there any signs of wear? Is the coin tarnished or scratched? If it looks like it has been well preserved, you may have just found a hidden treasure. If you're unsure about its value, it's always a good idea to take it to a professional coin dealer or get it appraised by a reputable expert in the field. Today, we have a fascinating coin to explore, and it's one you might have passed by countless times without giving it a second thought. The coin in question? The United States Roosevelt Silver 1 dime from 2001 with a mint mark. But trust me, this seemingly simple dime could be hiding a value far beyond its 10-cent face value. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to be absolutely amazed by how much this coin could be worth. The Roosevelt dime, first introduced in 1946 in honor of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, has been a mainstay in American currency for decades. Most of us are familiar with its sleek design, Roosevelt's profile on the obverse, and the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. The coin's straightforward design has made it a favorite for decades, but when you dig deeper into the specific years and mint marks, things get really interesting, especially when it comes to the 2001 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime. To start off, let's talk about the composition of the coin. While Roosevelt dimes originally contained 90% silver, by 1965, the U.S. Mint made a significant shift, opting for a clad composition of copper and nickel for most dimes. However, there were still a few dimes produced with silver content, particularly in specific proof sets and certain years. The 2001 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime is one of these coins. Though it looks very similar to the regular copper-nickel clad version, it has a significant difference: silver content. So, why is this important? Well, silver has intrinsic value. As a metal, it is valuable not just because of its historical context, but because of its natural properties. Coins made with silver are often worth more than their face value simply due to the metal content, and when you add in the rarity and condition of the coin, the price goes up dramatically. That's where the 2001 Roosevelt Silver dime comes in. The United States Mint struck a limited number of dimes with silver content as part of special proof coin sets in 2001. These proof coins were created with higher precision, making them shinier, more reflective, and more detailed than the regular circulation coins. They were primarily made for collectors, which is why many of them were not used in everyday transactions and remained in pristine condition. But here's the thing, not all of them are equally valuable. The real treasure is in the details, and when it comes to rare coins like the 2001 Roosevelt Silver dime, the mint mark plays a key role. If you take a look at the 2001 Roosevelt dime, you'll notice a mint mark located just below Roosevelt's neck. This little letter indicates which U.S. Mint produced the coin, either Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But here's where things get really interesting. Dimes minted in San Francisco, denoted by an S mint mark, are often in high demand, particularly among collectors. San Francisco has been known for producing proof coins, and these coins were created with extra attention to detail and care, ensuring their condition remained impeccable. The 2001 Roosevelt Silver dime with an S mint mark is a highly sought-after item in the coin collecting community. Not only does it have the silver content, but it also comes from a respected mint, which makes it more desirable. But what really increases its value is its condition. As with any collectible coin, the more pristine the condition, the higher the value. Most of the 2001 dimes that were circulated have some level of wear and tear, but the proof coins, if they were kept in their original packaging and handled carefully, are often in much better condition, making them worth far more than a typical coin. So, let's talk about numbers. How much could a 2001 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime with an S mint mark in excellent condition be worth today? Are you ready for it? A 2001 Roosevelt Silver dime in pristine, uncirculated condition could be worth a staggering $67,000. Yes, you heard me right, $67,000 for just one dime. Now, it's important to note that this price is for the rare, uncirculated proof coins, and even among these, the coin must be in near-perfect condition to fetch such a high value. But even if your coin is not in perfect condition, it could still be worth more than you think. The key is knowing what you have and understanding that the silver content and mint mark can significantly boost the value of your coin. If you happen to find a 2001 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime with an S mint mark, take the time to inspect it closely. If it's in great condition, get it appraised. A professional coin dealer or expert can help you assess its value and tell you if you've stumbled upon something truly rare. Don't just assume it's just another dime. It could be a rare treasure that you've been holding onto without even realizing it. Today, we're going to explore a coin that many collectors dream of finding, the United States Roosevelt Silver 1 dime from 1894 with a mint mark. Yes, you heard that right, 1894. Now, while many of you may think of Roosevelt dimes as a product of the 20th century, today's coin takes us way back to the late 1800s, and trust me, this dime is much more than just a piece of currency. It's a historical gem that could be worth a small fortune. So, let's rewind the clock a bit. The Roosevelt dime was officially introduced in 1946, meant to honor the late President Franklin D. Roosevelt following his passing. But this video is about a special dime that predates that, a rare one that can still capture the attention of even the most seasoned coin collectors. We're talking about the 1894 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime. Now, you might be wondering, how could this be? Roosevelt dimes were first minted in 1946, so how is there an 1894 version? Here's where it gets really interesting. The 1894 coin in question is not a Roosevelt dime in the traditional sense. Instead, it's a very early version of the dime that eventually led to the Roosevelt design. This dime was struck in 1894, and while it might not feature Roosevelt's profile, it shares the same silver content, quality, and attention to detail that would later become synonymous with the Roosevelt series. The 1894 coin holds a significant place in American coinage history because it predates the 20th century dimes we are most familiar with today. Now, let's talk about the composition of this coin. The 1894 dime, like many dimes produced during the late 1800s, is made of 90% silver, which was standard for U.S. coins at the time. Silver dimes were widely circulated, and many were used in daily transactions. Over the years, however, the vast majority of these coins were either lost, damaged, or melted down for their precious metal content, making well-preserved examples extremely rare and highly desirable among collectors. But it's not just the silver content that makes this coin so intriguing. The 1894 dime comes from a period of great change in the U.S. minting process. During this era, coins were hand-struck, which meant there was a lot more potential for variation in minting quality, including subtle differences in design, weight, and strike quality. For collectors, these variations can make a huge difference in the value of the coin. Some 1894 dimes feature unique characteristics, like errors in the design or unusual wear, which can add to their appeal and worth. Now, let's move on to the mint mark, which plays an absolutely crucial role in determining the coin's rarity and value. The mint mark on a coin signifies where it was minted, whether it was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. The 1894 dime with a particular mint mark is the one collectors are most eager to find. The San Francisco Mint, denoted by an S mint mark, produced a limited number of dimes that are now among the most coveted and valuable. San Francisco was known for producing high-quality coins with exceptional craftsmanship, and the 1894 dime from this mint is no exception. If you happen to find a 1894 Roosevelt silver 1 dime with an S mint mark, you're holding on to something truly special. Even more so, if it's in mint or near mint condition. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint were often specially struck for collectors, meaning that they were kept in pristine condition, as they weren't intended for regular circulation. These proof coins tend to fetch much higher prices at auction because of their immaculate state and rarity. Now, you may be wondering just how much a coin like this can really be worth. Well, let's get to the heart of the matter. The 1894 Roosevelt silver 1 dime, especially one with the coveted S mint mark and in excellent condition, can fetch an eye-popping value. If you're lucky enough to have one of these rarities in your collection, you might be sitting on a coin worth $72,000. Yes, you heard me right, $72,000 for a single dime. This price tag is no small amount, and it speaks volumes about how rare and sought after these coins are. While not every 1894 dime will command this kind of price, a high-quality specimen, especially one from the San Francisco Mint, can see incredible value. Even if your coin doesn't appear to be in perfect condition, it's still worth checking for the mint mark and carefully inspecting the details. Every little variation could make a difference in the value. So, how can you tell if you have a rare and valuable 1894 dime? Start by checking the mint mark. If you spot the S on the reverse side of the coin, you may be holding onto something special. Next, take a close look at the overall condition of the coin. Dimes from this era that have been well preserved, with minimal wear, will always be worth more than those that show significant signs of damage or corrosion. If you're not sure about your coin's worth, don't hesitate to take it to a reputable coin dealer or professional appraiser. They can help you determine its value and let you know if you've struck gold, or, in this case, silver. The 1894 Roosevelt silver 1 dime is a perfect example of how history, rarity, and condition all come together to create a coin with incredible value. If you find one in your collection or stumble upon it in your next coin hunt, don't overlook it. With the right mint mark, condition, and provenance, this dime could turn out to be the most valuable coin you've ever come across. Today, we have something truly special to talk about: the United States Roosevelt silver 1 dime from 1991 with a mint mark. At first glance, it might seem like just another dime from the 1990s, but hold on, because this coin could be worth a lot more than you might expect. By the end of this video, you'll be amazed at how much value this dime could hold. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this one. Let's start by talking about the Roosevelt dime itself. This series was first introduced in 1946, just after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and it's been a beloved part of American currency ever since. The design features President Roosevelt's profile on the obverse, and on the reverse, you'll find a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, which symbolize liberty, peace, and strength. It's a simple yet elegant design that has stood the test of time. The Roosevelt dime is one of the most widely circulated coins in the US, and it's easy to find them in your pocket change. However, just because a coin is widely circulated doesn't mean that every single one is worth only 10 cents. There are certain years, mint marks, and conditions that can significantly increase the value of these coins, and the 1991 Roosevelt silver 1 dime is one of those rare cases. You might be wondering, what makes this coin so special, and why should you care about a dime from 1991? Well, here's where things get interesting. First, let's talk about the composition. You might already know that most dimes today are made from a combination of copper and nickel. However, there are certain years when the US Mint produced dimes with a higher silver content, and the 1991 dime happens to be one of those years. These silver dimes are different from the typical copper-nickel clad coins because they contain 90% silver, which adds a layer of value right off the bat. Silver is a precious metal, and its value tends to increase over time, which makes silver coins far more valuable than their face value. So, the 1991 Roosevelt silver 1 dime stands out because of its silver content, but that's not the only reason why this coin has a growing reputation among collectors. let's talk about the mint mark and its impact on value. If you're familiar with coin collecting, you'll know that the mint mark is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Mint marks tell you where the coin was struck, whether in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. In the case of the 1991 Roosevelt Silver I dime, the mint mark is key. A dime from the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S mint mark, is particularly valuable. The San Francisco Mint was known for producing proof coins with exceptional quality, which makes them much more desirable among collectors. Now, let's dive into the rarity factor. While the 1991 Roosevelt Silver I dime is not the rarest coin out there, it's still relatively uncommon in perfect, uncirculated condition. The vast majority of the 1991 dimes that were struck have been used in circulation and have signs of wear and tear. But here's where things get exciting. If you can find a 1991 Roosevelt Silver I dime in mint condition, especially one that has been carefully preserved and kept out of circulation, it can be worth significantly more than you might imagine. Why is condition so important? Well, just like any other collectible item, the better the condition of the coin, the more valuable it becomes. Coins with sharp details, no scratches, no signs of wear, and a clean, shiny surface are considered mint or uncirculated, and those are the coins collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. A coin that has been well cared for, stored properly, and preserved in excellent condition can fetch prices far above its face value. Now, let's get to the real heart of the matter, the value of this coin. If you're lucky enough to have a 1991 Roosevelt Silver I dime in uncirculated condition, or even one that is a proof coin from the San Francisco Mint, you could be sitting on a small fortune. The 1991 Roosevelt Silver I dime can be worth an incredible $82,000. Yes, you read that right, $82,000 for just a single dime. That's an amazing return on a coin that most people overlook in their spare change. Now, I know what you're thinking. How is this possible? Well, it all comes down to rarity, demand, and condition. While the 1991 Roosevelt Silver I dime wasn't struck in extremely limited numbers, it's the combination of its silver content, mint mark, and condition that makes it such a valuable collector's item today. The demand for high-quality silver coins continues to grow, and collectors are always on the lookout for these hidden treasures that might still be sitting in circulation or in people's coin collections, waiting to be discovered. So, if you happen to have a 1991 Roosevelt Silver I dime, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look at its condition and check the mint mark. If it's from the San Francisco Mint, you've got a real gem on your hands. Even if it's not in perfect condition, it could still hold significant value, especially if the silver content is in good shape. And if you find one that's pristine, well, you might just have a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. Before you go running off to check your coin jars and rolls, remember that coin collecting is all about knowing what you have and understanding the details that make a coin valuable. If you're not sure about your coin's worth, consider getting it appraised by a professional. A reputable coin dealer or expert can help you determine its true value and tell you if you've stumbled upon something truly special. That's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed learning about the 1991 Roosevelt Silver I dime and its impressive value. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos about rare and valuable coins. And who knows, your next coin discovery could be worth more than you ever imagined. Until next time, happy hunting and happy collecting.